Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Remember, today is a brand new day, and now is a brand new moment. Today I have with me the energy of Archangel Metatron, who wants to help us get some more clarity on the idea that emotions are frequencies that are constructing and organizing all of our experiences. It's a very fascinating thing when you think about emotions, what your feelings are. Emotions are structures of energy that come into existence and being the moment you formulate a thought or consideration, or even if you access a memory or you anticipate something, you will be in the process of organizing and constructing emotional frequencies, which in turn will go about producing and are even in this moment producing, constructing, deconstructing your experiences, all of them, not some of them, all of your experiences are constructs of emotional frequencies. And the emotional frequencies of your parents constructed the body that gave you the opportunity to come into this physical dimension, to be here and now listening to these words. There's very little research done onto emotional frequencies in terms of how you use them yourself. Very few of you actually explore the nature and quality of your own emotional energy, which of course would allow you to comprehend why things happen to you when they do, and what caused them, and what you could even do to begin to reverse, undo, or create or produce various situations and circumstances. Emotions construct the geometry that you call your life. The existence that you experience in this life or others are constructs of the geometric manifestations or the organizing features of emotional energy which coordinate and organize conditions of time, space, and matter. From the molecular level to the galactic to the dimensional level, everything is an orchestration of emotional qualities generated by a conscious or sentient being, which is aware in various degrees that it can indeed change and organize frequencies. You might find yourself in very exciting and wonderful situations, and you might find yourself in very difficult and challenging situations, and each and every one of them is because of the organizing feature of emotion, which is energy in motion. There's a very small range of emotion available to most humans. A very small percentage of the spectrum of creation is available to you in that physical body, but enough is available for you to gain a functional understanding of creation, how you participate in life as a creating intelligence, that you are not simply an observer or one upon the ride. You are a participant in the process of creation, irrespective of your position. My goal here today is to bring you to a deeper awareness that every emotion comes under the domain of your attention. In other words, your attention can be used to change the function of thought and therefore the geometry of emotion that produces the conditions you call your experience. Every experience in your life is because of the way in which emotion organizes matter, time, and space under your direction. Many of you pursue the study of sacred geometry without necessarily comprehending or understanding the emotional component to that geometry, so you can get a very clear understanding of frequency and not understand the emotion of the frequency. You know that certain shapes and certain forms cause certain sensations or experiences, but then divest yourself of the own ability that you have to change and alter structures of matter, because you can regulate frequencies of emotion, whereas fixed geometric patterns will sustain very fixed geometry for emotions. And you cannot function creatively if your consciousness is in a fixed geometry of emotions. That is, if you are in a state of joy, you will remain in the experience of that geometry of joy. If you're in a state of anger or sadness, you'll remain in the geometry of that frequency. And only you can change your own geometry. Well, there are things outside of you, of course, that can stimulate you into a different state of geometry, such as a loud bang or a beautiful song or something that stimulates your senses, and you are altered by the environment, which is a very interesting way of trying to coordinate, organize the human experience, as many of you are indeed subjective to external influences that reorganize and reconstruct, deconstruct your emotional natures, so that many of you are disempowered from being the orchestrator of your own emotional geometry and have found yourselves looking for something outside of you to do that for you. Not understanding that you are a divine creator that can and are able to change functions of emotion to produce very specific and precisely desirable experiences and conditions in your life. However, believing that you need something outside of yourself to change what you feel disconnects you from the position that you are able to generate conditions of frequencies of emotions that would produce the changes that you would actually be more preferable to having in your life than the ones that are stimulated for you by your environmental conditions. I want you to understand that within you, in your awareness, in your thought, in your body, you have the capability of stimulating and orchestrating very precise sensations of energy or emotion to alter and change the conditions of your world individually and collectively. You want to find the freedom that you're seeking, but you will not find it in getting the world to change for you or forcing others to change for you. This will simply create a different form of conflict. But you can, of your own volition, learn the necessary and simple steps to beginning to moderate and regulate your emotional energy and frequencies, thereby learning to orchestrate deliberate and intentional changes in the condition that you call your life while in this physical dimension, which you are doing all the time, whether you are aware of it or not. Whether you're aware of it or not, you are orchestrating your emotional frequencies or subjugating yourself to those frequencies being organized for you by mass media communications, or by listening to certain music, or reading a certain book, or listening to certain things, or seeing certain things that will stimulate or sometimes aggravate changes in your emotional field. And it is far more preferable if you learn the process of regulating your own emotional energy, as this places you in a position of creation, that you are the creator of the experience of creation, which is what you are designed to be, the creator of the experience that you call creation. You get to experience your own creation and the effects of it, as opposed to being induced into a state of emotional frequency and experiencing a creation that somebody else has directed your frequency to produce on their behalf. What you would call the rich are rich and the poor are poorer simply influences of frequency one upon the other. And many of you are induced to this state of poor or this state of wealthy, oftentimes by inductive frequencies coming into your minds and thereby influencing your changes in your emotional field. But every experience in your life is constructed, destructed, and remade according to the nature and the quality of the emotional frequencies that you choose to indulge in. If you do not understand that you have authority over your emotions, if you do not understand that you have authority over the structure of thought that goes in your mind, then you're in a state of what we would call disempowerment, where you are then dependent upon something outside of your own control to moderate and regulate your own emotional frequencies. You see many examples of this regulation over emotional frequencies through your pharmaceutical industries, through your mass media communications. You see a great effort towards modulating and regulating emotional frequencies. I would prefer the model that you learn to regulate your own emotional frequency, that you recognize that you are the divine creator, that you are able to establish an emotional geometry in your consciousness that would produce manifestations of experience that would be delightful, even inspiring and wondrous to you. Imagine being inspired and in awe of your own creative capacities and not having to trudge through life waiting for something out there to happen to stimulate you into the thrill of creation, when inside you is all of the resources of the cosmos and its frequencies available to you to learn the function of creation, to learn the dominion that you have over time, space, and matter can become absolute, as some individuals have found. And when you have reached that point where you find you have absolute control over your experiences, you would not need to have control over anybody else or anything else, for the conditions of your life would be a product of the frequencies that you could deliberately control. And what you have on this planetary system right now is a model where there are the controllers and the controlled, both stuck in a macabre dance, unable to let go of each other long enough to find your own balance. And so if you hear these words, perhaps you can consider the possibility that inside you is the emotional geometry, that is the range of emotional frequencies that produce, induce, transform, transmute, and change time, space, and matter into configurations of experience that you call good or not so good, exciting or painful, blissful or demonic. The emotional geometry that you have access to within yourself, in order for you to gain conscious control over it, you must begin to evaluate your position relative to your mind and your body. That is, to realize that you are not the thoughts, you are not the body, you are not the emotional geometry. That is a substance of limitless frequency that you can configure and reconfigure by the way you use thought, image, idea, imagining. When you learn to recognize that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not the biology, you are the creating intelligence in the very primitive stages of learning the function of creation over time, space, and matter. Your awareness is independent of your thought. And your thought is interdependent with emotional frequency. And thought and emotion coordinate and orchestrate matter, time, and space in a state of excitation where what you are thinking and what you're feeling is very uplifting and empowering and exciting. You notice that time changes and goes by very quickly, and it has changed for you. Subjectively speaking, you change time all the time. You make it fast and slow with the use of emotional geometry, using thought as the regulator of that emotional geometry. The nature and quality of thought establishes emotional frequency into specific bandwidths of itself. That is, the emotion of joy will coordinate and orchestrate very specific physiological and psychological and environmental conditions. The energy of sadness will orchestrate and coordinate the physiology and environmental conditions in a very precise and specific way. But your species, the human species, not the angelic species, the human species is at a position, a crossroads between repeating a lesson or going past the lesson, going to a new grade of consciousness, which cannot occur until you have a comprehension of the lesson that allows you to progress. From a biological standpoint, there's an evolution, a development that happens almost spontaneously. From the realm of your spiritual consciousness, this must be done intentionally and consciously and deliberately, that you can coordinate the geometry of emotion with thought. You can coordinate thought with your awareness consciously. Or you may allow your thought to be coordinated by external influences, which is what many of you unfortunately are doing, which leaves many of you feeling disconnected and disempowered from your own creative potential, because you now rely on something outside of yourself to try and approximate your own creative potential. But that is not possible, because what you are is unique and distinct as an individual consciousness, as a spiritual entity. There is no other like you on this physical dimension. And when you divest yourself of that positioning by surrendering to something outside of yourself to modulate your thoughts and your emotions, and you will consistently feel incomplete inside, because you're not exercising your creative potential consciously and deliberately of your own volition. And at the point where you recognize what you are as awareness, that you are able to alter and change the structure of thought in your mind, which in turn links up with specific frequencies of emotional geometry that induces experiential happenings into your world. Until that point is realized, you're going to be struggling with hoping that something outside in the world beyond you is going to put you into alignment with yourself, but you are already in alignment with yourself, simply distracted by something other than what you are, waiting for some sensation and circumstance around you to precipitate you feeling in alignment with yourself. And the only way you begin to return to that alignment within yourself is to begin the process of asserting dominion and authority over the thoughts in your mind. That in turn will begin to change the emotional geometry, the frequencies that is created by the thoughts that you harbor in your consciousness. Whether those thoughts were given to you by the environment, which most have been, or you originate themselves, the moment you begin to assume conscious authority over the nature and the quality of the thoughts that you will partake in, you begin to move into the realm of partaking in the deliberate and effective creation of emotional geometry, producing your experiences of your own choosing. That very specific thoughts and the words that make those thoughts up create a very precise structure of emotional frequencies. And it's the geometry of all these frequencies that produces the conditions you call your life, in your body, in your environment. And in remembering that you are awareness, you are not your thoughts. In remembering you are awareness and not your emotions. In remembering that you are awareness and not the physical body, you can consolidate your position of observational awareness that will allow you to then begin the process of taking authority over your thoughts again. Learning to relinquish those thoughts that do not represent the frequency of emotion that you want to exist in, and learning to cultivate and consider and develop structures of thought that best reflect the vibrational state you want your life to be in, your physical, your mental, your emotional life, that you, in consciously restructuring certain thoughts, you give a structure to your life. And if you continue to look outside of yourself for that emotional restructuring, then be very mindful and careful of how you do that and from whom you would receive such information. Your news services, your CNNs and your NBCs and your ABCs and all these different things have very precise and deliberate structures of thought to produce very precise and specific emotional frequencies, and therefore very specific and precise conditions in your world. The geometry of the emotions from those organizations produce very precise and specific events in time and space. So be very mindful from where and from whom you would choose to acquire information that would allow you to restructure your emotional geometry using your thoughts. Be very mindful from where you will acquire thought. Be very mindful of the thoughts you've already acquired. You have the authority and ability to release thoughts from your mind. You have the ability and the capabilities to instill new thoughts in your mind. You may take your attention off a thought or put your attention on a thought. Learn that you have the function of will to make that discernment between that thought which would serve your life and that thought which would not serve your life. But you, beautiful soul, all of you must come to an understanding of how you generate and produce the existing conditions through the use of thought and emotional frequency, thereby creating your experience. You need to come to understand how you do that and to become conscious in that process, to be willing, ready, because you are already able to do this, that you might, again, prevent certain outcomes from being inevitable, as the emotional geometry of your collective species makes it very difficult for the planetary system to stay in what you call a stable condition. Your sciences have not quite gotten to the understanding of the spectrum of emotional energy that goes beyond the range of what is known. Never mind the light, sound, and spectrums, which again go far beyond the scope of perception, even of your scientific instrumentations. The realms of perception are very limited according to the element perceiving them. Whereas from the consciousness of your awareness, you can access ranges of energy and qualities of thought that would certainly produce emotional frequencies that would change the geometry of your planet very quickly, so that you do not have to go through what some of you have come to know historically as a planetary reset, a polar reversal, what you call events in time and space that have resulted in what is labeled as catastrophic events. These can be altered and changed if you understand the scope of your awareness's capability to access different ranges of frequency, thereby interacting electromagnetically with the planetary field and changing it. In turn, the change in that field will affect other fields that it's connected to, the sun, the other planets. You all interact with each other. But this is essentially all I've come here to say today, is that you are in a position to activate your awareness to become conscious that you have dominion and authority over thought, and that thought establishes and structures the frequency of emotional energy, that the frequency of emotional energy is what establishes the geometry of your life, the experiences you have, the events and circumstances you find yourselves in, individually and collectively. And it is what I hope I have communicated to you today, that you have received and understood this information, that you must come to an awareness that you are not your thoughts, You are not the emotions. You are not the physical stuff. These are things that you coordinate with your consciousness. And the most important place to begin to experience this change is in observing what changes for you when you change a thought in your mind, to feel what emotionally changes in you when you alter a thought. If you were thinking, I'm no good, that is a very specific organizer of emotional frequency. If you're thinking, I'm a dynamic and wondrous consciousness, that structure of words, that thought form, creates a specific emotional frequency that, when attended to diligently, will establish an amplitude in that frequency. That is, if you give a thought more attention, then you increase the amplitude of that thought, which in turn induces a change in the emotional frequency. And as that emotional frequency is amplified by the attention given to it, then you begin to feel the energy of that emotion as a function in your physiology. And that function in your physiology in turn begins to interact with the function of the environment. And from a single thought, you can begin to produce miraculous transformations and changes in your life, if that is what you desire. The very fact that you exist is in of itself miraculous. The fact that you are here now is miraculous. The fact that you may or may not understand any of this is miraculous. Life is miraculous. It's a manifestation of emotional frequencies and the geometric structure they give to experience as emotion is organizing and coordinating them, the structure of energy and matter, producing what you see and hear and smell and touch and taste all around you are frequencies of emotional qualities: the bird, the bee, the tree, the flower, the grass, your body. And I hope that I've conveyed that sufficiently to you today. Thank you. Wow, I love Metatron. Good morning, everybody. Hi. Hello, TikTok. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Before we go too much further into this, I want to remind everybody in about 6 weeks' time, our masterclass 101 begins. And we all know how time can go by very quickly. Masterclass 101 is called Awakening. And it's literally a course that introduces you to remembering who you are and learning to connect to your guides and your angels. Learning very simple and easy to follow practices so that you learn to make a distinction between who you are, what your mind is, what your body is, what your environment is, and what your role is in changing the existing conditions of your life. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Check out the full course description. We use a series of tools and practices that take people from simple consciousness, believing I'm just my thoughts and I'm just my body, I'm just this who I am, to I am an awareness, I'm a soul, which is what you truly are. Go sign up for it now. Do not wait. It can fill up very quickly. So I'm letting you know now. WilliamMichaelForbes.com. Go to the shop or look up under courses. You'll see Masterclass 101. I believe it begins June the 8th. Hello, Kira. Hi, Drusilla. Hello, Leslie. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifts. Really appreciate that, guys. I'm going to do what I can to catch up on the questions. Again, I have the energy of Archangel Metatron with me today. And his whole focus right now, as it is with much of the angelic realm, is about awakening. They tell me there's between 1 to 2 billion people awake in the process of awakening at various stages right now, that suddenly you're feeling something's different about my life. What's going on? And this awakening process is essential and gives us an opportunity as a species to change the organic process that's unfolding because of our ignorance about our thoughts and emotions, our creative process. from being what it's been in many previous civilizations to making our intention, our experience of this realm intentional instead of happenstance, right? Anyway, you can check it out. Hi. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hi. Some comments in the live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Listen, I know a lot of people think that this is gobbledygook, but I want to talk to you about channeling and mediumship. It's important you hear this. Mediumship is the ability to connect to other realms of information, realms that are really good and realms that are not so good. They both exist. Love and fear exist. They're polarities of one and the same energy. Jesus Christ is a medium. He talked to God, he talked to Gabriel, he talked to the other archangels on a regular basis. Moses, the same thing. He was a medium. He could talk to God. He spoke with Elijah and many other angels. Every great mystic is a medium and has communicated with the wisdom and knowledge of their masters and their teachers and their guides. Gurus, they have the pictures of the masters where they're teaching or instructing. They work with the energy. And so you have this ability, and everyone has this ability to be a medium. And if you're just trying to figure reality out from what you know in your own mind, it's going to be very difficult, because most of what's in your mind is not even yours. It was given to you by your parents, your schools, your educational systems, television, radio, your friends. Most of what you think you know did not even originate with you. It originated with somebody else. So learning to gain access to information outside of what you know becomes very important. Learning to gain access to information that you don't know becomes very important. So learning to connect to your guides, to your angels, to God, to Buddha, to Jesus, to Hermes Trismegistus, to many of these other wondrously evolved and enlightened beings, and learn to gain knowledge from them the same way you gain knowledge from high school or your friends or your neighbors. You can learn to tap into connecting to your guides and your angels and literally gain information and guidance from them that does not come from this world. And then perhaps you'll actually begin to access the divine in you, the divine, or what they call the Akashic records, the place of all wisdom, all knowledge, infinite wisdom. You can gain access to that and bring that into your life. But there's certain things that you need to learn to do. And most mystics, Jesus, Buddha, Yogananda, many of these other beings have learned to tap into that realm. And you can learn to tap into those realms too. In our masterclass 101, we laid out the foundation down for you to begin the process of opening the pathways to that information in the simplest possible ways that I've certainly ever been taught. Again, when they downloaded these courses and classes to us, it was very specific and precise why they were doing it and what the outcome could be. That those people, the 1 to 2 billion people that are in the process of awakening, would have information and knowledge available to them that does not come from the established institutions on this planet. The universities, the colleges, the high schools, the television, the mass media communication systems, but that this information could come from a place deep within you that you could access the universal information that's independent of the influences of this world. Again, I encourage you, go sign up for the class today. It's called Masterclass 101, Awakening, and get yourself exposed to information that you have access to, that you just have to know how to open those internal doorways up to perception so you can begin to perceive those things. Again, I'm just the vehicle for the information, and I'm grateful to be that. A question from Lisa. Please, I felt my girlfriend Sylvia, tell my girlfriend Sylvia something, and then I felt uncomfortable. I lost trust in that, in our friendship. I'm not sure what that means. Can you clarify? It's kind of a convoluted question. Again, if you are living in fear, you will experience fear. If you are living in fear, you'll experience fear, and you'll filter everything through that. When people do not understand you, they'll be afraid. It's that simple. Because most people default to the learning from their body, what their eyes hear, their ears hear, what their eyes see, what their ears hear. Most people perceive reality through the 5 physical senses. And that's only for the physical dimension. Your 5 physical senses are only for the physical dimension. When you say something to your friend, or your friend says something to you that's unfamiliar to you, and you're only perceiving it from the level of your body, you've got 2 things you'll go to: fight or flight, attraction or repulsion, because the body's based in survival. It's not based in creation. And so if you're stuck on the level of body, then you're stuck on the level of survival. If you're stuck in the mind, then you're going to be stuck on the level of information and emotion. Right? If you awaken your soul, then you can see the truth of things. It's a very different thing. But if I tune into the energy of your friend, it was time for a change. It was time for the change to happen now. It's time for the change. Oh, thank you for that, Serge. Really appreciate it. Holy, holy, holy blessings to all of you, sending unconditional love, sending agape love to all of you. Thank you so much, Serge. Really appreciate that. It's a beautiful message. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing and subscribing. It doesn't cost a penny to do that, and it gets other people the information. Thank you to my subscribers and supporters. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Just going to find some questions. Here we go. Feeling great. I have a question, please. I've requested to come out, come on the live, please. Okay, well, if you want to, Ellie, send a request to join, and I'll bring you on the live. I'll have to see that request. Let's check and see if it's there. Now, I'm only seeing invitations right now, but you can request to join. Thank you so much. Question from Drusilla. Any message for me today? Wow. I'm just being told to tell you that there's something that you need. Note the word need. There's something that you need that has to be fulfilled. Yes, there's something that you need that has to. I'm just going a little deeper into this. It'll make it easier for you to stand strong in what is occurring. What is it that she needs? They're saying that the function of joy in going forward will be very important for you. The function of joy in going forward will make it easier. Wow. Function of joy. I like that. Is not forgiving those that took my brother's life. Is not forgiving those that took my brother's life holding you back? No. No, it's the anger that you hold that's holding you back. I'm being told to tell you that there was a contract between those people and your brother that's now fulfilled. It's now fulfilled. But what happened to your brother, as unfortunate as it was, you need to grow past your anger. It's not about forgiving them. It's about learning the new function of creation for your life, because when your brother left, it left you with a purpose that has to be fulfilled. Again, I can't go into too much detail about it because we're live and there's certain details that I don't want to share. I highly recommend that you go and book a reading with me. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. You can book a half-hour or 1-hour reading with me. And we can go into a real deep dive on that, because there's a lot of information to unpackage around the dynamics of that contract between them and your brother, and the contract between you and your brother, and the use of the anger that you're still holding on to. The anger and the loss you're feeling, that emotion has to be transmuted into a different function. I'm going to leave it all at that. And again, I hope I see you soon. Book a reading today. Thank you so much. Hello. Hi there. Good to see you. Wonderful. Thank you to my moderator for blocking. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Friday to you too, Guy. Good morning to you too, Amanda. Hi. Question from Babette. Does Metatron have any guidance for me? I've recently connected to him. Babette, I'd really encourage you, if you haven't heard the whole message, after the end of this live today, go to my YouTube channel live sections and look up this video again. Okay? Look up. It's called Emotions Are Frequencies with Archangel Metatron. And watch his message. You'll get the information that you're seeking right now. You'll get the message that you're seeking from the original message. Yes. Why didn't I get the job this week? You have to let go of your despair. You keep holding on to this despair in your subconscious mind. And that despair keeps resulting in this repeating disappointment. You have to release the emotion of despair from your mind and body. It's just for those of you on TikTok, somebody's just asking why they didn't get the job they applied for. And the answer, of course, was what he just told her, that you have to let go of the emotion of despair. The emotion of despair creates a geometric configuration in your life that results in certain events. Emotional frequencies organize the geometry of your experiences. I really love that description too. Thank you, Metatron. Emotions organize the geometry of our experiences. Hi there. Oh, you're very welcome. Morning to you. Love and grace to you as well. Hi, beautiful souls. Hi there. Just trying to get thank you, William and Archangel Metatron. You're very welcome. Yes, I was channeling Metatron. Again, for those of you on TikTok, if you want to see the original message, go to my YouTube channel later today after the video is rendered, and it's called Emotions Are Frequencies, Archangel Metatron. But he went deeper into it. Again, I'm going to paraphrase. He says that thought organizes emotional frequencies. Emotional frequencies organize the geometry of our experiences. In other words, what we experience are products of our emotions in the simplest terms. But you can get the whole message by going to my YouTube channel. Are there parts of the Bible missing? Yes, there are many parts of the Bible missing. Huge amounts. Master Jesus just shakes his head. No. There's such small granules of his truth that they kept in there, just enough to keep people knowing that there was some truth there, to be seated amongst all the evil and darkness and violence and aggression and greed that was seated in there, to teach people to be wanting and needing. Right? The elites back then, when they murdered Master Jesus, restructured his teaching in such a fashion that the vast majority of people that would read that Bible would be inclined to remain subjective to the institutions, that the churches and things that subjugated people to that. And that's why people have been kept in this. The masses are mostly poor, because the Bible talks about keeping people poor, those who are meek, right? So, yes. There's lots of stuff missing from the Bible, according to Master Jesus. Yes. Hello, William. Did the hawk have a message for me? Hi, Abigail. Again, that when I tune into the energy of that experience of the hawk for you, it's about you need to open yourself up carefully and observe the opportunity that's going to come into your path in the next 24 hours. Be ready to be open to seeing that opportunity, because Hawkeye, right? Right. You want to remember that, Hawkeye. Keep your eyes open for the opportunity that's going to come to you. Yes, that side of it too. I'm being told, somebody else is telling me to tell you, it can also be when that opportunity comes that you will take wing. You'll take off with it if you catch it in the right way, in the right time. Thank you so much. O Ra Yin is asking, what are the emotional qualities of the Metatron's cube geometry? He says that it's primarily for the understanding of the function that life is an integrated and unified whole that changes dynamically in the realm of the physical dimensions when you utilize and apply thought and variations to frequency. But the cube structure itself is to represent the unified field of all life, that it is very highly orchestrated and organized and cannot be taken out of balance. Wow. Great question. Thank you, Orion. Someone's asking, so how can we change state of being? Changing with our thoughts? Thank you, Metatron and Michael. You're very welcome, Nature. He says, you do not change what you are being. You change what you're creating through your use of thought and emotion. Your being is a dynamic, infinite spectrum of consciousness interlaced with all points of time and space. But from the localized perspective that you are in right now, that is the part of your consciousness perceiving me through the individual asking this question, you are able to orchestrate very specific and precise changes in your material existence to gain a recognition of what you are as a being. Your being is learning to remember itself as the creator. Wow, I like that. That's really cool. Thank you. Do my parents and sister have a message for me? I'm going through a lot. Well, thank you for that question. There's a really huge shift in energy, and I'm feeling like this, like you're surrounded by 5 roses. And I think the other 2 are your grandparents. And they're basically saying you have nothing to be afraid of. Stay true to your love's expression. Stay true to your love's expression. What can you be more specific about that? There are so many things she likes to do. She must do the things she likes. We will support her in this. In anything that you do that love is present, we are there with you. In anything that you do where love is present, we are there with you. Do not get caught up in fear. We cannot join you in fear. We can join you in love. Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat, Amanda. Happy Friday, William. I've noticed a new, deeper connection with larger birds as they are showing up around me. Would love to have a message around it. Again, the symbolic meaning of this is what's really important. You know, if you look at I'm being told to tell you, if you look at the functional activities of birds, how they function, what they act, the raptors for starters, they're descendants from what we call dinosaurs. But I'm being told to tell you that do not be afraid to land where you are going, and do not be afraid to take flight when you need to. Well, there's always more to it than that. Love from Greece, a message for me, please. Thank you for your beautiful work. Thank you, Mary. Really appreciate that. Sitting in the salt water can be really good for you today, Mary. Like get out in the salt water, go up to about your knees, and allow the energy that you can feel in the legs from the knees down, allow that energy to flow up to the body, to the crown chakra. But stand in the water and allow yourself to feel the movement of the energy, because your body's in a lower electrical potential. It needs to be similar to grounding. But this is what they're telling me to tell you specifically. To stand in the water up to like your knees, and feel the energy flowing up into the body and integrating into it and elevating the frequency of the body. That's cool. Hi there. Good morning. Hi. Thank you for sharing the live. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the classes, Kathy. That's wonderful. It's the anniversary of my husband's death today. Any words from him? He's telling me I love how much she loves and remembers me, as I love and remember you. Oh, my heart is so close to you. My heart is so close to you. He's telling me something about something you have to get out of. Get out of the pain. Get out of the pain. Get out of the last of the pain. I'm with you. Wow. Beautiful, man. Yeah, it's pretty funny hearing the answers for other people sometimes. It's really cool. Why do I stay out of guilt with my husband who won't share his life with me? He's disabled. Yeah. He doesn't want to be a burden to you. he won't tell you this, but he doesn't want to be a burden to you. And a part of him is trying to make you want to leave so that he's not a burden to you. He doesn't want to admit it to you. You ask him about this. I'm talking to his higher self right now. His mind and body do not want to be a burden to you. I've been trying to find ways to get you to go away, but that's not what he really wants. He really wants to be really close to you. He needs to know on all levels that how deep your love is, because he's finding it hard from the perspective that he's in, that he's not a burden to you. Right? He needs to know that he's not a burden. I mean, he needs to feel from you that he's not a burden. He needs to feel that, and then you'll find a very profound change will start to happen. Hi, Bridget. Good to see you. Bridget's asking, my son Dylan has red dots on his feet and seems to be experiencing anxiety lately. Doctor couldn't find anything. Any suggestion on what it could be or what to do for him? I got Master Jesus coming in and telling me to tell you to go out to a natural clay bed. Near a river, you will find clay along the side of the river. Have your son immerse his feet in the gray clay. Have him do this for about 15 minutes. This will draw from him that which he does not understand. Yes. It would be beneficial as well to, before your son goes to bed at night, to have him communicate to the space of the body around himself. To have him communicate to the space around the body of himself. Only love enters his space. Only love leaves his space. Have him think those thoughts before he goes to sleep at night. Only love can enter my space. Only love can leave my space. That'd be very beneficial. I got enough time for a few more questions, and then we got to head out to a building site. Hi, dear friend. Just connected and heard part of the answer about your brothers. Oh, thank you for the ice cream. Peace and love. Thank you so much. From Church Street. Thank you very much from Church Street, Veronica. Is that Church Street, Toronto? Hello. Hello, hello. Meditate in loving awareness. That's a really good suggestion. I had a dream of my late mom. She gave me a paper, a sign it's okay to continue. It'll be positive. Yes, please continue in the energy of love. She wants you to continue, not just be positive, but continue going forward in the energy of love. However you experience the energy of love, before you go into any meetings or before you even get out of bed, what is the energy of love? She wants you to go into that and go into your day with that energy, how you feel that energy. All right, very important. Good question. Alicia's asking, somebody's saying here that those red dots are possibly an allergy to the carpet. Yeah, that's very true. So allergic reactions, things the body does not like, but most of the allergic reactions are probably because of the chemistry that's put in the body from the types of foods that people eat, right? Allergic reaction. When I was a child, you did not hear about allergies. I remember I think I was like 8 years old the first time I ever heard of allergies, right? Never heard of them before then. Most diseases have really propagated in the last 60 years. Disease has become very, almost, you hear about it every single day. It wasn't like that when I was a child. That's because we're eating and have been eating and consuming very unpleasant things sometimes. How's the new office coming along? It's coming along. I've just put the desk into place, and I'm just getting nice and level. Got all the shelves up, and we're going to cut a few more shelves today. It's coming along very nicely. I'm looking forward to getting into it and having a different environment for us to share. Thank you for asking. Are we to break? Oh, thank you for that. Those patio lanterns. I really appreciate that. Are we to break out of the cube box? Well, we are right now. That's what's happening right now. This whole ascension movement is part of that. We are in a movement of ascension. There are energies coming into this planet in reaction and response to our human collective low vibrational energy of fear. There's energies coming in to try and counter that. What's happened historically is our fears end up creating electromagnetic changes, pole reversals, other events, catastrophic events. Everything's interconnected. Weather phenomena, your relationships, the jobs you have, your wealth or your poverty, every experience that we're all in are direct correlations with what he was talking. I'm going to paraphrase. Thoughts orchestrate emotional frequencies. Emotional frequencies coordinate the geometry of our experiences. That's what he said. Metatron said earlier. Yes, your grandma is around me. Yes, she is. Holly, Molly or Holly. I can't tell if it's Molly or Holly. Yes, she is. She says you need to dance more. She says you should be more playful. She wants you to dancing to be really good for you. Dance in the garden with her. She said she loved dancing in the garden with you. Dance. Hi there. Take a question from Blanca. Dreamt of geometric shapes, a circle inside of a triangle. The next day, I saw a girl who had a tattoo with those exact shapes. What does this mean? It means you're beginning to access the quantum field, that you can perceive other points of time and space before you arrive in them. In other words, in the dream, you saw that symbol and you saw that symbol there. So you're linking time and space events from a different realm of perception, which is what starts to happen in awakening. A lot of people wake up, you can see, hear, suddenly you're seeing something you had a dream about, or you're talking to somebody about something and suddenly you're experiencing it. We're learning to move into our divine nature, or we're going to slide back into our old selves again. Thank you so much. Thank you, Van Twinkle. Appreciate that. Thank you for that. I'm trying to find if I missed a question from you. Van Twinkle. Hi, William. I found the wallet. I had no idea it was actually lost until John told me. His heads up allowed me to remain calm until it showed up. Thanks a bunch. I'm open to anything else available. What he's referring to is, I think it was last Wednesday, Van Twinkle had lost his wallet. And I don't know what John said to you then. Maybe you could enlighten us. But John, my guardian angel John, was talking on Wednesday and told him what to do. And now he's found his wallet, of course. They always know what to do. The beings that are on higher dimensional planes, it's like the higher you go up, let's say you're climbing up a mountain from a valley, the higher you go, the more you can see. Guides, angels, ascended masters are just at different degrees of awareness and consciousness. Your awareness and consciousness expand more and more as you raise your consciousness up, enabling you to perceive and experience time and space on a broader spectrum than you can just from like the little self of the personality that believes I'm just a body here and now. Your awareness is far vaster than that. Anyway, I'm so glad that you found your wallet, and I'm grateful, John. Thanks, buddy, for doing that. Can Drusilla paint me a picture? If you like to, certainly. Somebody's asking how to heal and activate the solar plexus. This is a really good question. As all the energy centers in most humans, like right now, there's the geometry of the energy centers goes from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to indigo to violet. That's the normal flow of the energy. And what she's talking about is the yellow of the solar plexus. She wants to know how to activate it. What they're telling me right now, to activate the solar plexus in your meditation, you need to draw the energy up from the root chakra. You draw the energy from the root chakra into the sacral chakra. Then you draw the energy from the sacral chakra into the solar plexus chakra. You hold it there until you feel the activation begin to happen. When you begin to feel the activation happen, you draw the energy next to the heart chakra. When you feel the activation, you draw the energy to the throat chakra. When you feel the sensation of the activation, you draw it to the third eye chakra. When you feel the activation, you draw it to the crown chakra. When you feel the activation of the crown chakra, you draw it up. And you continue to go on that cycle, drawing up and out. Let the cycle complete. This will align all of the energy centers in your physical system. That is the most direct and simplest way to activate what you call your solar plexus chakra. Wow, great question, JJ. Appreciate that. Well, hello, Lister. Good to see you again today. Drusilla, yeah, I will call you when we're finished. Absolutement. Yes. Do I know? Do I know medical medium? I don't know any some of our students are in the process of becoming medical mediums, because when you begin to access who you are outside of what you know, you start to remember things that you know that you didn't know in your own personality. But sometimes I've been gifted with information on people's physiology that I've been gifted with. So if you've got I'm not a medical professional, but I can bring information through from other realms of consciousness outside the realms of the five physical senses. In that sense, I have occasionally been what you would call a medical medium, but I'm that's not my function of practice. My function of practice is to be a vehicle for the wisdom, the knowledge of the ascended masters to help human collective unconsciousness to elevate itself out of fear back to love. Because the state of fear that humanity is collectively in right now is not going to create something very good for us all. So we're here again to elevate energy from fear back to love collectively. That's my primary function, is to be a vehicle for that. Yolanda saying, William, I feel the energy of my dad lately. Never felt him before. Can you help me with his message, please? Yes. He's telling me to tell you, please tell her to remember how cherished she is to me as I am now. How cherished. He needs you to not just hear the words, but to feel how cherished you are. Please let her feel that. I'm attempting to allow the feeling, that cherished feeling I'm feeling from him, to go to you, Yolanda. How cherished you are to me as I am now. If she knows that she is cherished, then she can begin to trust herself again and be free of the judgment. So I'm just attempting to transmit this vibration of how he cherishes you to you. And I hope that you're open and receptive to receiving this from him. It's why he's in your life right now energetically. He says it will allow you to function in a realm of completion that you cannot without that sensation of value. Wow. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Appreciate that. Got time for one more question. Again, there's so much more information. For those of you that hear questions being answered and resonate, that question that you hear being answered, just a small piece of a very big puzzle of information that comes to me. So when you ask a question, I don't just get that answer coming in. I get a whole bunch of other stuff that's there for you. If you ever want to explore that a little further, go book a reading with me through my website. You can choose your own date and time for your appointment directly from my calendar on my website. Okay, take one more question from hang on. Someone say, do I have a guide named Agnes? Yes. I was told this. I thought I had Archangel Michael guiding me. You do too. It's never either or with the divine. It's always an and. So Agnes helps you more with three-dimensional things. Archangel Michael has been trying to help you with transforming and transmitting old negative emotions, teaching you how to let go of old stuff that no longer serves you. But Agnes helps you with three-dimensional things, like the things you're going to do, what you need to do here. Archangel Michael is trying to help you to learn to transform and transmute old emotional conditions from your life right now. Yeah, Yolanda feels that. Good. Just let yourself feel that. Stay in that feeling, Yolanda. We'll take one more question and away we go. Archimedes said, do the math. Could you elaborate, please? I would encourage you to re-listen to Archangel Metatron's message today. Go to my YouTube channel under the live section. It'll be called Emotions Are Frequencies with Archangel Metatron. It's going to be the most recent live video when it's rendered. And go into his understanding of the organization of frequencies with thought and how that organizes the geometry of your experiences. Right? Do the math. Will make more sense to you then, because your thoughts, in fact, all human experience and creation is the geometry of our emotional frequencies. Right? What is geometry about? Mathematics. I'll leave you with that. Guys, I want to thank you all for coming out today. Thank you so kindly for coming by. I really appreciate it. Look at that. We're up to almost 20,000 likes today on TikTok. And I love you all so much. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for helping out. Again, if you want to support the channel, you can consider, if you've got your question answered, leave a tip in the tip jar. Go to my Linktree link you'll find the link to my Linktree under any one of my videos or on my TikTok bio. Click there. You can leave a tip in the tip jar if you wouldn't mind. It supports the channel and it's deeply appreciated. I want to wish you all a much wonderful and joyful day. Remember to go register for Masterclass 101 Awakening. You've only got 6 weeks to do that. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. I'll look forward to seeing you soon.